All right, I recently saw something that is just almost terrifying. So there was a report done by the American Security Project looking at the state of our military with regard to their health and things like that. And they found out that today, 68% of our American military is either overweight or obese. I mean, this is a incredible fact considering who our military is. I mean, who our military are. They are comprised primarily of males and primarily of young males, 18 to, most guys are out by sometime in their 40s. They're only allowed to stay in, most people 20 years. At the outset, if you make general, you can get in for 30 years. But nonetheless, it is young males. And 68% of males in the military, where there are physical fitness requirements, where physical activity is part of the job, where they are supposed to maintain some level of combat and operational readiness, are sick, obese. The obesity rates in the last 10 years in the military has now doubled in 10 years. Incredible. Apparently there's a 79% increase in the incidence of eating disorders, probably binge eating disorder being probably a large percentage of it. Why? That to me is an absolute failure of leadership. It's a failure of policy, obviously. You have basically a captured organization, which basically you can do with what you want them. You can force them to take medications, as you guys saw. You can do. I mean, when I was in the military, and I served twice. Once in the early '90s, I was a nuclear weapons launch officer, so I basically launched nuclear bombs, and later again in the mid 2000s, where I went as a trauma surgeon. And both times, I was physically fit, as I remain so today. And as I recall, many of them were fit back in those days. And now to think that more than 2/3 are just overweight, obese, is just tragic. It is a national security risk. It is an embarrassment to the country. When you think about what about their food? Well, they follow the national guidelines. This is, the military largely parrots USDA guidelines, which clearly are not working for the population. They're clearly not working for any institution which adopts them, and is clearly harming our country. And again, this is a huge, huge problem. In my opinion, if we were to sort of stop this crazy grain-based, 60% carbohydrate-based diet, which is basically leading everyone to, addiction, particularly with the ultra-processed foods. And when I was, I remember when I was deployed to Afghanistan, we had a chow hall, dining facility, and there was no shortage of food. I mean, they had a good job providing food to the troops, which is a big thing. You want to be able to feed an army, but at the same time, there was no shortage of garbage in there. I mean, you could have, and we had civilian contractors that were walking around in a war zone at 350, 400 pounds, which really amazed me. I remember one was injured, or one got killed basically, had a bomb go off and a piece of bearing went through his brain, and of course he died. But I mean, it was no. Had he been in that situation, there was a chance of him living. His obesity would have clearly compromised his ability to survive in that situation. So this is a dire situation. I know it's not something that most people can consider or think about, but I mean, look, our country, which it looks more and more likely that we are, the world is going into a direction where war seems more and more likely. Now it's arguable that we're going to have a challenge defending ourselves in many cases because of this problem. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys to see, and again, what is the solution? The solution is, I mean, in the military, it's a lot easier in my view if you had the right policy. If they put me in charge, it would be a different situation, I guarantee it. Anyway, that's not likely to happen because the vested interests, just keeping these so-called fat cats fat is what drives things. But we're going to change that, guys. All of us will change that for the better. All right, guys, have a great day. Don't be an embarrassment to yourself, to your family. Make sure you are capable, physically fit, and so on and so forth. We'll talk to you soon.